Hi everyone, it's Kathy Zilski. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm excited to be part of a blog hop for Neat and Tangled. They are celebrating their 6th birthday, and so in that spirit, I am using a brand new set from Neat and Tangled to create a happy birthday card. This card gave me a great opportunity to use my Copic markers, and I continue to practice and try and get better. So let's take a look at all of the products I used. The base of this project is this brand new floral frame set from Neat and Tangled. It has this gorgeous floral frame, the birthday sentiments as well, and then all of these little bits and pieces that you can stamp and layer. I love birthday cards. That is probably the one I need the most. So the fact that this also comes with a coordinating die set is fantastic because you can cut everything out. I'm going to be stamping today with some Memento ink and using just a small set of Copics here that I've picked out, and I'll have everything listed below. I've got some foam squares, and I'm going to be using some Versamark ink and some Brutus Monroe Alabaster white fine detail embossing powder. A little purple tape because I like to hold my dies down when I'm cutting them. For cardstock, I'm using a couple pieces of Neenah Solar White, both in the 110 and 80 pound weights. And then I've got two options of paper from Gina Designs because I wasn't sure which color direction I wanted to go. And of course, my MISTI tool. My MISTI tool, which allows me to actually be a stamper. Because let me tell you people, was not possible in my old life. So thank you, my sweet petunia. All right, let's dive into the project. So I'm going to start out by stamping this floral frame, and you can see this thing is huge. It's the size of the palm of my hand. Now, I'm just centering it right on a piece of Neenah Solar White. This is the 80 pound, because I know I'm going to die cut it, so I want to make sure I leave enough clearance on both the top and bottom for that die. But it's a big stamp. Very cool to have such a large stamp. And I will be using the Memento ink because I am doing Copic coloring, and this is a Copic friendly ink. And I'm going to ink it up really well, and I'm just only going to stamp this down one time because the transfer with the MISTI is fantastic. But I really do press down all around when I have a large stamp like this, just because, you know, if you want to get a great impression the first time, there you go. Of course, with the MISTI, doesn't matter, you can hit it again, but I just, yeah. I'm trying to get better at stamping. Okay, my Tidy Towel is a great tool for cleaning stamps. And if you don't have a Tidy Towel, check it out. I also have that awesome little container that I keep it in, and I will link that below as well at the very bottom of my list of supplies, because this thing keeps it from not being smelly. Do you know what I mean? Like there's just enough of an air gap, but it also will keep it damp for quite a while. It's a great tool for your Tidy Towel. And now I'm going to go ahead while I'm stamping and just stamp out a whole bunch of the flowers and leaves from this set. And as I said, this set has a bunch of kind of little bits and pieces, and I just think it's great and versatile for creating a bouquet on top of your frame. Now my Copic coloring is simple, but one of the cool things about this set was it allowed me to just practice. Do you know what I mean? Like I picked two colors that I thought would work together. I add a little depth with the darker color and then blend it out with the lighter color. And I was actually pretty surprised that I picked two colors that worked. But I think with Copic coloring, you got to start somewhere, right? And I am still in that early stage of getting to know my markers. And so something like this was sort of this Zen process to just sort of work my way around this entire frame. And I purposely kept my markers simple. So I didn't go for the 3-color blend. I just wanted something that had a nice green, not too bright, a little more earthy, if you will, because I had done some tests with some other markers that I have that were a little garish, not gonna lie, and came back to these two colors, and I just think they're really nice for greenery. So you can kind of see, just worked my way around and did all of the leaves. Then I wanted to go with just one main color for my flowers, so I picked out two of the BG markers, and I think these two markers go really well together. So again, lay down the lighter and then come in with the darker. And I just sort of follow the stamped lines that are already built into the floral, because I think that is a nice sort of guide to where to add your dark shade. Because again, I'm not a master colorer. Maybe one day I will be that, and I will get some award and someone will say, hey, way to go, you're a master colorer. But for now, again, keeping it simple. I forgot to add in just a little bit of green, but that is my frame. And I think it's simple, but I really was happy with how it turned out. So next, bring those colors over to my other stamped sheet of images and color them in. And again, with this two color system, you know, it's not too complicated, but I thought these colors worked really well together. And again, this is Copic practice for me. I can lay down the lighter color, and I think that is the kind of marker colorer I am. I think I am a go light first, bring in the dark, and then color it over with the light. I know I've seen it done many ways, but one thing that I also have to do when I'm coloring, like when I have a leaf or something with a point, I have to turn the paper and come at those points point first. Does that make sense? Because my vision is not great. I'm about 3 years overdue for an eye exam. I'm not gonna lie, my eyes they're getting horrible as I get older, and I can't see what I'm doing to begin with. So I turn my paper a lot when I'm coloring, just so that I can pull the color down from the point. Now I kind of see, just like that, just point and pull. I know, coloring, right? I also hold my pen weird, but that goes all the way back to grade school. And at this point, I don't think there's hope for a normal hold. I'm sorry. I think I'm stuck with what I have. That's true on so many levels. Okay. And I just went through and colored in the rest. Then those fantastic coordinating dies. Now here's the thing. I kept this die intact. So there's a center part and a frame part. And they're joined with the little metal, piece. You can cut them apart, but I thought I'm going to leave it as is for now, because I want to have that perfect lineup, and then you just have the one die. But you can cut it apart, and that just looks great. Fantastic. And now I'll just cut out the rest of the pieces. And I use a Spellbinders Platinum 6 die cut machine. Great little machine for me. Also, it's very pretty, and it folds up, and you can just tuck it out of the way. Now it's time for the sentiments, and I've got this piece of cardstock. This is Sea Glass from Gina K Designs. This is a 2018 new release from her cardstock collection. And I got to tell you, I am a fan of her cardstock. Gina K Designs, fantastic stuff. Now I'm going to use an embossing magic pad just to rub this all over. It kind of has that powder in it. If you're wondering, if you've never used one, like, what is in it? Well, it has powder. And the whole point is to remove static or oil or anything on the paper that you don't want your embossing powder to stick to. Because embossing powder is sticky stuff, and so if you remove all that static and then give a good press down here with some clear embossing ink, and I just use Versamark, now when you put the powder on, it's only going to stick where it should stick, and if it doesn't, you can just take a brush and brush it off. But this powder is from Brutus Monroe. It's Alabaster White. Really great powder. I've been using this a lot lately, and I really like it. Now my heat tool is all hot before I come in to hit the paper, and I'm just going to hit it long enough until that powder turns all shiny and is melted. And there's my sentiment. I love the sentiment too. Really cute type. Now I'm just going to use a simple stitched frame here. This is from a collection I have by Fawn, because I want to cut this out, and I want this panel to be the background of my frame, but this is actually smaller than the floral frame. Now I've got my cardstock. This is the 110-pound Neenah Solar White, and I want this to be a landscape card. So it's going to be 4 1/4 tall by 5 1/2 wide. I just thought that would look cool with this big floral frame, although you can go the other way as well. You can create a portrait card. Now here's what I couldn't decide. Well, first I'm going to take some low-tack tape just to hold my card closed. Got to keep it closed while I'm building. And then came the decision. I had done this yellow one off camera because I loved the contrast that it provided with the blue and the yellow. I think I think there's something about that on the color wheel. I should know this. I work as a graphic designer, and you would think I would have that memorized. I don't. But I ended up going with the blue because I thought it had a more of a homogeneous feel, if you will. Now, I'm using Fun Foam to pop this panel up, and I love to use this sticky tape, this tape runner from Scrapbook Adhesives, to adhere the panel to the foam. That makes sense, right? But then I like to use liquid adhesive to add that popped up panel to my card base. And the reason why is because then you have a little bit of playtime to move it around and get it just right. And I really do. I like my stuff to be lined up. But look at that gorgeous, it's probably like a ½ inch margin of space. Love it. Now while that's drying, and it doesn't take long, I'm just going to use some thin foam squares because I'm going to be popping up my flowers onto the frame. Now I'm going to glue down the frame, and this is what's so cool about having a smaller thing to ground it, is that a little bit of the frame pops over the edges of the blue base, and I like that look. And I'm just going to kind of line it up, just stick it down with some of my favorite dot runner adhesive. This is the Copic. Been using that stuff for years. And now I'm just going to arrange my florals. And it felt like there was a natural place for each one of them to be. And so once I kind of figure out the design first, then I can start gluing things down. I wanted to have the bigger leaves hanging off in the corners again, just to kind of create more dimension with things coming and going on my card. I think doing anything with florals, when you have a lot of different pieces to layer in, gives you a lot of opportunity to play. I mean, I'm not the world's greatest floral arranger, and here I took some of the smaller greenery, just kind of tucked those in. I thought about popping those up as well, but I like that I have different layers of dimension on this card. The blue panel is popped up, the flowers are popped up, and I think there's enough going on that just those two levels of dimension work great. But now one thing that I realized after the fact, I couldn't figure out where to put that flower. I wanted to put it up at that top point, and then at the last minute I didn't. And I think in hindsight, I should have put it up there. So, you know, sometimes you're going to lay something down and you're going to glue it down, and if you're using foam squares, I think it's too hard to pull it back up without risking damaging the card. So you'll see on another card that I did how I decided to do that. But I did add that little bit of greenery at the top, and I think that kind of helps to frame it. So yes, that is my finished card project. I just think it's a fun, monochromatic birthday card. It gave me some chances to color, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I just think it's a really fun set. But I did decide to take some of the extra pieces and make that yellow card. And now when I look at that, I think they both have strength. And if you'll notice on this card, I put that flower up at that top point, and I think that was a better choice. So thank you so much for watching my video today. And if you like what you saw, by all means, give it a thumbs up. And I hope to see you back here with another card project soon. Have a great day.